Hi. You guys still with me? Alright, so check it out.
Boy, do we have a lot of work to get done today. We have so many projects ahead of us on this. Basically today we're going to be swapping out the rear end in the giveaway truck. We're going to be doing a 6-lug disc brake conversion on the front end. We're going to be installing most of the brake system, including the power brake booster and master cylinder. And we're going to be putting the engine and transmission into the truck. So come along for the ride.
Alright guys, so as you know, when you're building cars, if you get a lot of projects going, you really have to, you can't have dead horses, right? I detest dead horses. So what we're going to do now is we're going to change rear ends into giveaway and bends, because bends actually ends up with a 9-inch. We're still waiting for the axles and stuff for that. But anyway, it's coming crunch time, and it's time to start solidifying things on the giveaway truck. So we're going to flip-flop rear ends, and it's going to be super cool.
Hey.
Alright, so let's do our 6-lug conversion. It's going to be disc brake up front, but they're hubs that actually facilitate disc brake and 6-lug. And they go on square body front ends. Alright, let's go ahead and start the disassembly process here. Okay. Dogies. Alright guys, if you don't have a bearing packer, I mean, you can buy them. I just never have one on hand, and I just do them by hand anyway. So, glob of grease, wheel bearing, and you ram it in there like that. And just go around. Here's that. You scoop it back out, more Z's, and you'll see, you'll start pushing grease to this other side, and then you're good. It's good. So, we're waiting on our calipers, the hardware, and grease seals, stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the corners together. That way we can move it, because later on today I'd like to do some other things to the truck and flip-flop some trucks and stuff like that. So I need a roller.
Hello again.
Alright, so now we're hanging on a booster here on a giveaway truck. But this unit is a CPP power brake booster. It's like a kit, and they work very well, and they fit every time, and it's gonna be super great. All right, that's it. So now, so here's the booster, and they give you the bracket and everything. You also get a push rod. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to go ahead and I'll dry fit this on there, just put one nut on the booster, and that way I can kind of get an idea of how long the push rod is. Oh. Okay, so she's dry fitted on there. Looks pretty good. Alright, let's come around here. Here's our new push rod right there. So what I want to do is I want to dry fit this to somewhere where it's somewhat of the close length it needs to be.
And now I'm gonna go ahead and put my pedal stop on here and just see what the push rod's length is. Here's our push rod there, and our mounting hole is up here. Let's see. Let's make the push rod about another inch longer. We'll see what that looks like. Hang on. Are you guys still with me? Okay. So I've adjusted our push rod about an inch out, and you see where it's pretty close to that center bolt. And don't bother tightening that up yet. You might have to move it around again. I just run this nut up to here, so it kind of gives me a good reference point. But anyway, I think that's pretty close, guys. And we'll go ahead and mount it solid, and it'll be super cool.
Just for kicks and giggles, here's our reference jam nut. Let's go ahead and unscrew that. I didn't check the other heads. I don't know if... We'll use this wrench till I find the other one.
One to go.
Throw dust in your guys' face. Probably about good, isn't it? Power.
This is what I was talking about. One bolt will take you a month. No, it's just good.
As Pete said, he'd be there for 9 million years. Trying to stab that thing with those plates tight.
Alright, guys. So now we're going to do the rear brakes on the giveaway truck. We're going to go ahead and hang the hydraulic part, and we'll do the hard lines later. Anyway, I know there's a lot of voodoo. People are scared of doing drum brakes. They're really simple. First off, make sure how it comes apart. I don't know how to perform brain surgery, but maybe I could figure it out if I watch somebody. Anyway, so let's start with this. Alright, all your Chevys are the same way. This guy here, this is your e-brake cable. You pull this back to pull that out, but to do brakes you don't need to do that. Anyway, this is your e-brake lever. And it goes through the back side of the shoe. There's your pivot. And usually when you buy new brakes, you'll get a clip there, or like a little U, and you put it in there, then you bend it. Either way, it works fine. But if you look at this, I have my adjuster in the bottom and my spring already. And you do that because once you have them on there, they'll hang by themselves. Yay! So, okay, so here's our hydraulic cylinder. We've already replaced it. And this guy goes right in here. You see that? Zoink. And these brakes, again, are pretty simple because if something's wrong, it will not go together. Anyway, so these go in here, or you might have a style that looks like, hey, oh geez, that looks like this, and it's the same setup. Same thing, goes right in there. Anyway, so now that I threw everything apart, I'll tell you what, you can't take me anywhere. Alright, here we go. Like I said, if you look at this spring, and here's the adjuster, this spring is shaped like that, and that is the side that this gear goes on. So, hang on. Alright, so now our adjustment is all the way in. Zoink. Grab our other shoes. We put it on upside down. Zoink. So now they're hooked together. Okay. Now we're back to square one again. So there's our adjuster, our spring, and our e-brake bar. So there's that. And now we're going to put our, I guess you could call it a piston. I guess. Maybe something like that. Like I said, all this stuff will only go in one way. Zoink. There's that. You catch on that like that. And there's like that. Then you squeeze it in there. And everything's super fantastic. Oh man. Okay. So, next thing is these pins. They have a weird little T side on them. They go through these holes in the back and plate. And then they pop through here. And here's our spring. And if you look at that, you see how it's a T? It's only got like one way. Anyway, you put that on there and you kind of line it up here. And now, like anything, they sell specialty tools. But I like to use a good old needle nose. Do you like this? You throw it on the ground. It must be close-up day today. Alright guys, as I was saying, so I'm using pliers now. The needle nose didn't want to play. Okay. Now. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Pin, and then your T part. Then you put the spring with this washer on there. You put it on and you turn a quarter turn. Now this side here, we gotta make sure that's in there. This guy here is called a spreader bar. You see how it's got a notch there? That's what side your spring goes on. So, and this goes in behind here. Oh, come on. Okay. And there's a little notch there. Okay. There's all that. So now we need. So next you'll find a piece like this. This goes right down here. And now we have a pin here, and a pin goes through all that stuff there. Okay. Okay, so
Now our pin's through. Now this guy goes on here. This is on the e-brake side. Okay. And now, oh, I'm sorry, hang on. I'm lying to you. It goes on like this. Sorry. Okay. So now there's that. Spring with washer. Pliers. Straight down. And turn. Okay, so that's the brake shoe parts of things. Okay guys, so here's the e-brake side. That washer goes on and quarter turn. And this, I'll show you what that does in a minute. Here's our adjuster. You notice this finger actually keeps that tight. Here's our spring here. Same guy over here. Our spreader bar is in here with the spring, right? And this guy has a notch right there. These guys are notched in here. And anyway, now we're going to hang the top springs. Okay. So, this guy goes on first. And then, where'd it go? See this weird looking thing? This actually goes on like this. Hooks in there like that. Then there's I'll tell you, usually these guys aren't that hard to do, but because it's on camera, of course, it's gonna give you trouble. Okay. So that is how that looks. Next, as you'll notice, there's two different size springs. The short spring is going to go on this guy. This guy goes over here. It goes right in here, like this. And watch out, guys! You can punch yourself in the face doing this. I've split my eye doing it before. Anyway. Don't use pliers or vice grips. There's a tool for that, but if you don't have the tool, use side cutters. Grab it with the side cutters and squeeze, and there's that. If you want to get clever, you can go ahead and arch these, recurl those guys a little bit there like that, and there it is. Now, here's our shorter spring. Same hole, like that. And because this is new hardware always gives you more trouble because it's a brand new spring. This hook is going to go right there. Safety glasses aren't a bad idea. Okay, and last but not least, this little spring goes on this tab right here. Sometimes you gotta kind of muscle it in there. Hi, yeah. And unfortunately, you can't put that spring in until the whole thing, because you'll end up fighting the system. Anyway, come here again. Okay. So here's this, our adjuster spring, this guy. Spreader bar is over here. Long spring. Short spring hooks right there. Onto this rod here. So here's the rod, and here's the spring, and that hooks right there. And I mean, you can get fancy and turn that, but it don't care. And all this retains, keeps the shoes from falling off. Anyway, there's that. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put the other side together. I'm gonna get some drums on this. Actually, let's show you how to adjust the drums. Ooh, badoo. Okay. So what you don't want to see grooves in there. If there's grooves in there, the drum's no good. And this drum looks good. There's no grooves. It doesn't look like it's oblong at all. Anyway, first thing you do is you put it on just to see if it even goes on. Like I said, if any of this is wrong, it will not go together. All right? Yeah, if any of this is wrong, the shoes will be hanging out, something weird. It'll be obvious. The drum will not go on. But here you go. So this adjuster, don't bother trying to fight it like that. You can pull this finger back and just go wee. And you'll know it's getting wider because now you're pulling on that spring. The tension, you're going to have more tension on it. Put tension on it. All right. So we've just adjusted it a lot. Make sure you put pressure on it. Roll it around. I don't hear anything. What you're going to hear is it'll be like, and that's going to be your brake drag. You don't want too much, but you do want a little bit to where it's you just kind of barely hear, just a little bit. Anything? Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Oh, L2 Moss. To relieve the pressure, pull this finger back and go you see how that only goes one way? Click, 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 click. If you pull this back, you go back the other way with it. Just a little bit. Oh, do you hear that? Like I said, you don't want a bunch of drag. You just want to be able to hear it. You hear that? Oh, fancy. That's it. We're done. Well, I guess we check it. Hooked, 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 hooked. Spreader bar's in there. We're hooked there. That girl is the opposite it needs to be. There's that. There's that. Our adjuster, this guy, springs in there. If this if this big huge plate is not in there, what happens is the brake system will work, the e-brake will not, but your adjustment will back off. So the reel will be real nice and great, and then within, I don't know, let's say a couple days or something like that, the brake adjustment starts backing off. That's why you hear that click, 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 because there's a little finger on there. Anyway, it looks good, guys. Doot, doot, doot. Spreader bar's in there. We're locked in there. There's that. There's that. There's that. That, and that. Okay. I'm not going to put the tire on yet because we still need to do a brake system. Here's another trick. We got this wheel done, right? Just put a lug nut on her. That way, when you start bleeding, you won't shoot the drum off or something weird like that, and it'd be catastrophic. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side, and then we're gonna do the hard brake line. Yay!
Well, that was a lot of work. We really appreciate you coming by and spending time with us. As always, thanks for watching.